So in this video I'm going to discuss the difference between two more combinator CSS declarations. One is the next kind of declaration and one is a subsequent kind of declarations, and they kind of describe each other. For instance, the next is basically saying that if an element is sharing the same parent element and comes immediately after the next after the first declared element, they are going to be selected. This next one is subsequent, which says like it doesn't matter if it is immediately or not immediately, they are going to be selected. But yeah, it sounds a bit confusing when I say it, so I'll make a example out of it. So let's say we create a new div so that we have a parent element, and we create 3 paragraphs here. P class equals test, and we'll give it a ID. No, we'll not give it an ID. Let's say test paragraph, and we'll create a P class equals again test. This we'll call it test sample, and we'll call it next paragraph, and P class equals again we'll call it test sample, and we'll call it subsequent paragraph. So as you can see, we have created one test class and 2 test sample classes, and in one of them there's the next and there's a subsequent. So let's say we have to give an example. We'll save this HTML file and we'll give it a next kind of selection. So next are designated by plus symbol. So let's say I'm saying for any test sample that comes after test, right? So I'm saying that any test sample class that is the first test sample class that comes after test should have background color. We'll give it a different kind of color. We'll give it a chocolate color, and we will say the font. No, we'll just say it will be given a chocolate color, right? So if I save it and I go to my HTML, so you're seeing that only this paragraph is being given a chocolate color, right? So yeah, what it does is it checks for the immediate next element that has that dot test sample or the test sample class, and it gives it a color, right? Let's try subsequent. And I'm going to say again test, but this time I'm going to give a tilde, and we are going to say test sample, and we are going to declare it as background color as blue, right? And we are going to save it, and if we reload it, so both the next paragraph and the subsequent paragraph are being marked as blue. The reason is the subsequent mark doesn't check for the immediate next one. It checks for both the next one or the next one or the next one, and it just gives it a blue background. So that's a difference between a next declaration and a subsequent declaration. It's a very subtle difference and you have to be very careful. It seems like while I was learning it and I was testing it, it felt like a very patch and break and patch kind of thing. Like it's almost like when you have broken something really really bad, you would use something like this, because it's not really inherent when I would use it, because if you are very clear with your child or descendant declarations, you wouldn't need this kind of thing. But the fact that this exists, it means there must be some cases where you are really desperate about using this, and I don't see any other use case for this. But yeah, this exists, and this is a very subtle difference, and it almost breaks my brain to just be explaining this. The Again, just to reiterate, the subtle difference is next only takes the immediate next immediate next class or element and styles it, while subsequent one will take the next or the next or the next one, doesn't matter how many of them are there, and style it out. So yeah, I think we are done with combinatory classes. I hope I was able to explain it well. I'm sorry if I wasn't. It's very clear in my head now, but yeah, I can see where the confusion would arise. Uh, so yeah, if there are any more confusions, you can always go to MDN docs and check out the documentation, and you will be able to clear it out in your head. In the next video, we are going to go with something more font related and styling related. So see you there.